I'm begging you to learn sales because it genuinely changed the entire trajectory of my life. My name is Zakaria Adhan. I'm 25 years old. I'm an entrepreneur, founder of the Silicon Sales Institute and Silicon Sales Consultancy. I've had a career in tech sales, and that's where my background lies, and that's where we focus and specialize. I went from someone who was earning minimum wage to then being able to earn a little bit more, up to £35,000 a year in the UK, to within 18 months of breaking into tech sales and learning sales, able to earn well over six figures, and then more than that as I progressed throughout the industry. Now, I want to just give 6 or 7 really small points as to why you should make it your main priority to study, learn, digest, understand, implement, apply sales, and stick around for the last one, because it genuinely is the one that's just gonna hit the nail on the head. Why am I making this video? Why am I doing this? It's very simple. I wish someone told me this back in the day. I used to think that sales was just like, I don't know, Wolf of Wall Street. It was just like people trying to manipulate each other and talk on the phone, but man, I couldn't have been further from the truth. So without further ado, the first point that I want to make is called following the pattern. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. The most successful entrepreneurs and the most successful people globally, the majority of them, you want to take a guess where they started out in? To name a few, you've got people like Peter Thiel, people like Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett, Howard Schultz. These are like multi-millionaires and billionaires, and they attribute a lot of their success to starting out in the nitty-gritty and understanding sales and understanding that a business is simply built upon being able to diagnose people's problems and building solutions around those problems. The pattern of successful individuals working in sales is not a shock now that I'm in the industry, and now I've been in the industry for a while. But what I try to see a lot of people doing is that they try to reinvent the wheel. They think that they can go straight into business without having any understanding of things like marketing, sales, operations. And then they wonder, like 6 months in, oh, I've been doing everything that this course that I bought has been telling me to do. Why am I not succeeding? Well, my friend, there are certain disciplines and things that you need to learn as a prerequisite before you go in. I've seen people say to me in the past, but Zakaria, I'm an introvert. I'm quite, shy. I don't really like speaking to people. I don't think I'd be suited for sales. Sales is not about being or having the gift of the gab. Sales is not necessarily about being able to speak to as many people as possible. I have seen some of the best salespeople in the world that these guys are introverts. These people were genuinely introverts. It is about being able to have the ability to ask the right questions. Can you lead a conversation in a certain way and diagnose a problem, and what we call qualification and qualifying, so that you can then go ahead and use that information to present a solution that is genuinely going to help fix that problem that they're suffering from. That's it. That is sales in a nutshell. Now, of course, it gets a lot more complicated than that, but as a whole, if you had to put it and I only had one sentence to summarize what sales was for me, that is what it is. The second point that I want to make is about earnings and how much you can actually earn in sales, because it's just genuinely not comparable to other industries. A lot of people get into work a 9 to 5 just so they can earn as much money as possible. I'm just thinking to myself, why are you not getting into sales? The only logical answer would be that they just didn't know, to be honest with you, like I didn't know. But if your goal is to do something other than a 9 to 5 in the future, then sales should be your only route in and entry to just stack up as much cash as possible, so you have cash flow to be able to invest in things, or you have a 6-month runway or 12-month runway so that you can go all in on business, and so on and so forth. I will put up on the screen somewhere, you'll see it around here, how much people can earn in tech sales or what the trajectory is, and it's stupid, it's ridiculous. If someone breaks in as an SDR entry level, we're looking, I'm talking tech sales specifically because it's obviously the industry that I know, but we're talking anywhere from 90K to 130K USD. And then on the high end, if you're a top performing enterprise AE, which you can get to in about 4 or 5 years, we're looking at in the millions, 700K plus. I know reps personally, enterprise account executives that are earning 7 figures because of the deals that they work on. It's not out of the question. It's not out of the norm for tech sales professionals. But the main thing about sales in general, not tying it specifically to tech sales, but just sales roles in general, is that you have a level of control on your income where you don't have that in other jobs. The more work you put in, the better you understand your prospects, your industry, your product, the better you learn objection handling, the more money you can make. There is no cap or no ceiling on how much you can actually earn. In fact, in tech sales specifically, there is something called uncapped earnings or uncapped commissions, meaning the more you bring in, the more commission you'll be able to earn. And this is why you see these ridiculous salaries in tech sales. And I've been preaching and going on about it for many, many years now, but people just don't want to listen or do their own due diligence and research. Don't even take it from me. Go and do your own research. For me, there is nothing out there, no industry out there that can give you a faster ramp up time or get you to a certain income level without a degree, without any previous qualifications than sales can. It's a no-brainer, to be honest with you. But again, if someone wants to go and do engineering or someone wants to go and do medicine, where they do get paid a lot of money eventually, further down the line, but more so forget the money, they're doing it because they're actually passionate about it, I'm really happy for them. But if you're someone that's saying, I want to go and do this job or that job because it pays me this amount and I think I can earn more, or the main motivation is money, then get into sales, man. What are you waiting for? So the next point that I want to make on this topic as to why sales is the best thing you should be investing your time and learning into is the fact that you learn cold calling. Why is it important that you learn how to cold call? There is no better method or way out there to be able to engage with a potential customer, which we call in sales a prospect, or someone who is actually in need of your services, than just to pick up the phone, make a dial, and go ahead and call them. Because you will be able to get a live gauge of where they're at on that. Are they suffering from the problem? Have they tried to fix this problem before? If they have, how did it go? Are they even in the market for a solution of this nature? Have they set aside a budget, for example? Is this something that they've been suffering from for a long time? And if so, why haven't they fixed it already? It essentially teaches you to just get yourself in front of the people that you need to speak to. And this is how entrepreneurs and very successful people move. If they need to speak to someone, they don't wait around. They pick up the phone, make the dial. I need something from you. I need this thing. I want to have a conversation. Every cold call that you make is building up a muscle and muscle memory of an elite skill set that just turns you into an absolute beast. You learn how to objection handle, you learn how to communicate better, you learn how to prospect and how to talk to people and how to handle rejection on a daily basis, and you just become a stronger person mentally because of it. But you have to remember that it takes practice. The person who's made hundreds of thousands of cold calls, like myself, as opposed to the person who's made 100 cold calls in their lifetime, they're playing two completely different games. The next point that I want to make is about the mindset shift that you develop when you learn sales. Before having any understanding of sales, I was under the impression that I had to rely on individuals, rely on companies to be able to earn a living, that I had to do things for them in order for them to pay me at the end of the month. But when you become a salesperson and when you get into an industry like tech sales, for example, you learn how to hunt for yourself. You learn to become a hunter. You learn how to go out there, build something for yourself so that you can go and gather resources. You learn how to get in front of the right people. You learn how to talk to them. You learn how to book in a meeting with them, how to speak to them, how to position an offer, how to pitch, how to negotiate, and be able to turn a simple outreach that never would have happened had you not had this mindset and turn that into generated cash and revenue for yourself. You stop asking for permission. You go out there and make things happen for yourself. And it was really once I got into sales and got deep into it that I started to understand that, like, making money, for example, was a game that I could actually win at, not a lottery that I was just hoping to be able to win in. The final point that I want to make, and the most important point out of all the points, and it supersedes all of it, but it does kind of tie into a lot of them anyway, is that sales is basically an apprenticeship or a training ground or a boot camp for you to go ahead and become a successful future entrepreneur. What do I mean by that? It's very, very simple. When you get into sales, you are learning the business acumen and the skills that are necessary for you to be able to launch your own thing, go to market, generate meetings, speak to the people that you need to sell your product to, or the people that your solution solves a problem for, and turn that into revenue. Because a company cannot survive without revenue. They need to be making money. They need to be generating sales. You see so many technical founders out there. They start companies, software companies, amazing product. You cannot fault it. But because they don't understand sales, because they don't understand go-to-market, because they don't understand how to pick up the phone and just speak to a prospect, because they're scared of doing that, because they don't understand that they should be looking to solve a problem, and the solution itself doesn't really matter unless it solves a direct problem, whether it ties to risk, whether it ties to revenue, whether it ties to costs or saving a company costs, it doesn't matter. They will never succeed in it because they don't understand sales. The majority of individuals that go out there and say that I'm going to go and start my own business and be successful in that business, they fail. And I genuinely attribute that to the fact that one, they've never probably worked in a proper business. And if they have worked in a business, they've never been exposed to the sales function or sales aspect, or they've never seen how it is that the company generates revenue. So my advice genuinely would be that if you are a future entrepreneur and see yourself as a future entrepreneur, don't say that I want to become a future entrepreneur. Say I am a future entrepreneur, I will become a future entrepreneur. Then get into an industry like tech sales or sales. Stop messing around, work hard, earn a hell of a lot of money, that more than probably what you're earning at the moment, and go out there and absolutely smash it when you do go to market with your own product in the future. And if you decide to stay in the industry, then kudos to you. You're going to be doing well for yourself regardless. If you are interested, of course, in being able to go ahead and get into an industry like tech sales, and a lot of the points that I mentioned did actually resonate with yourself, like I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, I'm more capable of doing more and actually breaking into an industry like tech sales, then check out some of the links down below. If you want to apply to the Silicon Sales Institute and go through an accelerator where we guarantee you a role, if we actually select you, we are quite selective with it, and then go ahead and apply. And if you're not in a position to be able to invest, because I'll be honest with you, there is an investment that is required. Of course, it's not free. There's a lot that goes into your development. But if you're not in that position to be able to do that, then go ahead and join the free school community and receive value and start gaining knowledge anyway, and regardless. So either way, there's an option there for you. So bringing it back around, and just to end off this video, I'm begging you, learn sales. For the sake of your future, for the sake of your income. We're living in a world now where technology is taking over so many different jobs and automating so many different things. One of those jobs that won't be automated is the ability to be able to sell, the ability to be able to have a human interaction, especially within software and especially within technology. The technology era is producing so many AI founders, so many new technical companies, whether it's in cloud, data, cyber, AI, whatever it is, right? And a lot of these companies need talented salespeople to be able to go out there and go to the market. And if you can go into one of these companies, learn the trade, learn the skill, earn a ton of money, and then go out and do the same for yourself, you won't have any issues and you won't have any worries. Sales is an education that you're going to be receiving where you're actually being paid. You're not the one paying, but you're being paid to solve and do the one thing that a business really needs to do, and that thing is generate revenue. So please, if you're young, under the age of 30, 35, you're still young, and you're in a role at the moment that's not fulfilling you, you're in a role that you know there's no progression, you're doing something that you don't have any influence or income, or you're getting a 5% or 10% increase in your salary on a yearly basis for them thanking you for your service, do yourself a favor and learn sales.